That brings us to our final topic as we are going well overboard, well over time this week of Christmas. But hey, there's a lot to talk about. And we're
Merry
having
Christmas,
fun.
y'all.
We're having fun. And unfortunately, we're going to end it on a rather, I don't know if it's a negative note. On some of you, you might think it's hilarious. Some of you might be disappointed, and others might just not care. The Hollywood Reporter once again has reported that not only Black Adam lost money, but that Dwayne Johnson was done as Black Adam, and that Dwayne and James, and with that, Dwayne and James Gunn have hopped on Twitter and basically confirmed as much. And it sounds like Black Adam is no longer going to be a part of the DCU moving forward. And I quote from Dwayne Johnson's Twitter, if the Hollywood Reporter will let me pull up the article. James Gunn and I connected, and Black Adam will not be in their first chapter of storytelling. However, DC and $7 have agreed to continue exploring the most valuable ways Black Adam can be utilized in future DC multiverse chapters. Now, he went on to say some more comments of, but with that being said, it sounds like he is not, and it sounds very similar to the same comments we got regarding Henry Cavill's no longer being Superman announcement, was that our plan is going for this, and that we are excited to work with him in the future. And it's kind of the same thing with this post from Dwayne Johnson. He almost makes it sound like he also kind of had a say in walking away from it. He kind of insinuated that, at least that's some people are interpreting it that way. You can interpret it your own way and find the exact quote yourself. But it sounds like $7 Productions, which is Dwayne Johnson's production company, and DC, James Gunn, Peter Safran, Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson are all separating ways, splitting ties, and going into different ventures. He also mentioned Marvel in the post, saying that I'll always continue to root for DC, and then in parentheses, and Marvel. And a lot of people are speculating, like, oh, could that be him saying, like, hey, I'm done at DC now, Marvel, Kevin Feige, you want to come scoop me up? I don't know if they're going to go with that because of how much baggage now Black Adam and Dwayne Johnson has, which is kind of crazy.
There's been a lot of tea with that.
It almost seems like, hate to say this, but it almost seems like they're trying to cancel him. I don't know if cancel culture is still a thing or not. I'm not hip and cool, so I don't know. But
who knows?
It seems like Black Adam has really kind of done some damage to Dwayne Johnson's IP, which was not to be predicted going forward. I mean, not by everybody anyways. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Black Adam as a character from the comics. I've waited my entire life for a Black Adam movie and for an adaptation. Well, not for a Black Adam movie, but just to see the character be adapted in a live action format, or even hell, get an own animation movie that's longer than, an hour.
Right.
And being able to see Black Adam live action was a dream come true. It was a little bit of a disappointment. It was not the greatest DC film I've ever seen, but it definitely was not the worst. And I thought Johnson was okay in the role, and I thought he looked great in the role. That being said, if Peter Safran, James Gunn want to use Black Adam in the future, and they say, you know what, we're going to get more of an Egyptian actor, one that has a widow's peak hairline. Maybe we give some pointy ear prosthetics. You don't need all of that, but has more of an accent, more is familiar, seems more like he's from Kahndaq or an Egyptian-like country. And although Dwayne, is
kind of like Injustice,
right, more, I guess you could argue traditional. But
right.
some people's problems with Black Adam was that although he did speak Kahndaqi in the very beginning of his resurrection, he immediately spoke English after the fight scene and had no accent, no hair, no pointy ears, which is a lot of, iconic elements to Black Adam, even though it's just his image, his appearance. It kind of, I don't know, it adds something cool to him. You look at Namor at Marvel, in a lot of ways, he almost looks like Black Adam in a lot of ways.
Yeah, he's got the pointy ears, he's got the
pointy
widow's
ears,
peak.
and he's got the hair, he's got the skin complexion. And I think moving forward, if they want to reboot Black Adam and don't use Dwayne Johnson, I won't lose sleep over it. In fact, I'd be excited after seeing the Black Adam movie and that the kind of lost potential of the character, because he is a complex emotional character with great motivations and origin story and multiple stories they could tell that with that character. And a lot of people think they shit the bed. I don't necessarily think that, but they didn't nail it out of the park either. So if they want to move in a different direction in the future, I'm on board. I don't know if we'll ever see the character again. I hope we do. I don't know if anybody cares or if they're just always going to associate the character of Black Adam with Dwayne Johnson because of how big Dwayne Johnson is as a character. But I got to say, I am a little bit disappointed on one hand, but still excited for the future. I'm not devastated. Eleanor, what are you thinking about this? Because you're not a big Black Adam comic book reader. He's not, Batman or anything. He's not super iconic. What do you think about somebody else maybe playing the role in the future and Dwayne Johnson no longer being Black Adam?
Honestly, I'd be kind of relieved because of how much stuff has happened. Like,
yeah,
I thought it was kind of cringy when he was like, the hierarchy of power is about to change. Like, for me, I was like, Jesus Christ. Every time I heard it.
6 months.
Yeah, I was cringing every time. I'm like, could we not? Please, you're taking the air out of my sails. And so I think, I think it would be a good idea. Just start fresh. Just I could see why they'd want to get away from it too, because there's been Twitter drama, there's been the Hollywood Reporter firing, and then Black Adam, Jesus, look at me, Dwayne Johnson firing back, and then the Hollywood Reporter firing back again, and then Dwayne Johnson saying no, and I'm like, okay, stop, just somebody please show the spreadsheet with the numbers so we can all stop talking about this, because either it lost money or it didn't, and at this point, we just need a number.
I think it's pretty much official that it didn't.
Right.
But that's just me. That's just my guess.
I'm like, for me, I'm just like, I just want to see the numbers. Okay? I just want to see that, it's like, I just need the numbers. I just need the spreadsheet. We're not going to get it, obviously. But, just some confirmation that is in black ink that tells us yes or no.
I mean, at the end of the
day,
day,
we can stop talking about it.
At the end of the day, we're gonna stop talking about it because the character is no more. We're not getting a sequel, and he's not going to play the character anymore.
Honestly, especially after Henry Cavill allegedly, reportedly fired Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's ex-wife as his manager and stuff. So I could just see okay, there's a lot of severance happening here. So when he was like, oh, well, we'll work together in the future, I'm like, this is his nice way of saving face, saving his dignity, and saying, I'm done with that. I'm closing the chapter on that book. And, hello, Marvel. I'm here if you want me. And I don't know. Kevin Feige might be like, sure, I got something for you. You're huge, and here's a role where we need someone who's huge. But I don't know, because Dwayne Johnson's a very talented, very nice guy. But I just don't see him as, an actor kind of like Henry Cavill who can really adapt to a role like that. The roles kind of adapt
carry the film.
Right. Where the role kind of adapts, in my mind, more to Dwayne Johnson.
Right. He brings his own charisma, his own sense of humor and sensibilities, and his own strengths as an actor.
To it, yes.
And I think you kind of need something a little bit stronger than that,
right,
for a character like Black Adam. And
right.
Black Adam's not just punchy with some jokes. He's not a jokey, funny guy. I mean,
although it was awesome having the Rolling Stones in slow motion.
I guess I should change that. There are interpretations, especially in the newer comics, especially in Rebirth and New 52, where he does have a more sense of humor. He is much, much more of really just a hero than even an anti-hero or a villain. And I think they should have introduced him as a villain first.
That way the redemption arc feels sweeter.
That way when he becomes an anti-hero, it's a little more sweeter. Like when we were introduced to the Punisher in Daredevil Season 2, if you've seen that.
He was terrifying.
He shot Daredevil in the head, and he was killing people left and right, and So originally we're like, okay, this guy's psycho, he's crazy, but we're going to end up loving him. But right now he's definitely kind of our antagonist in our very, very first meeting with him.
Not only that, the
Now,
actor's just good at doing
right,
that.
John Bernthal. As the episodes go on, we obviously get more backstory and he becomes more of an anti-hero and then just full-on hero. They could have done the same thing with Black Adam and just introduced him as a villain as opposed to giving him his own solo movie. I think that's where the mistake
misstep
was made, is that he should have been like a Loki character backing up in a Shazam movie, Captain Marvel movie, and then maybe utilizing him in a Justice League movie down the line, and that's when he can fight Superman. But set him up with Captain Marvel first. And even though
By Captain Marvel, we mean Shazam.
Sorry, Shazam, yes. And by the end of it, I gotta say, although I'm happy that we got a Black Adam movie, I will own it on Blu-ray when it comes out. I'm all right with getting another crack at it, and I hope we do. There's no confirmation that we will, but I'm hoping that we do, and another Shazam. But what do you guys think about all of this? Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson is no more. Now, there is still a sliver of hope. There is still that little message at the very end that says we're hopeful for the future, can't wait to cross over soon, and maybe there's a chance of that. Maybe James Gunn says there's no way we could let the IP of Dwayne Johnson go, and we're just going to soft reboot Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam. Maybe there's a huge possibility of that, and we're just overlooking it. Whatever you think, we'd love to hear it in the comments down below.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Speed Force Media podcast this week.
Or whatever it's called.
And if you guys are listening on YouTube, if you could please click that subscribe button, give us a like, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. If you're listening on Spotify, Samsung Podcasts, Amazon Music, or another podcast service, leave us a 5-star review, as it does help us reach more followers like you. And please subscribe for more content. And also, for everyone who celebrates, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone, no matter what you celebrate.
Make sure to come back on Saturday for our second podcast, the Slasher Saturday podcast. And, of course, the highlight of the week, as it is every week, Sunday, Shipwrecks Sunday, hosted on our sister channel by my wife, Eleanor. Make sure to check that out for a good palate cleanser. And, of course, you don't have to check it out on Christmas Eve, Christmas, or on any of the holidays that you guys celebrate, but make sure to check it out whenever you can, starting out next week. Hope you all have a great holiday weekend, and of course, a happy new year. That will be it for us. Till next time.
Please remember to iron your capes.